Every great house in Westeros explained. To begin, we are going to start in the north, which makes our first great house, House Stark. House Stark's roots trace back to Bran the Builder, not to be mistaken with Bran the Broken. Bran the Builder was the founder of House Stark and creator of both Winterfell and the Wall. The Starks were not always the monarchs of the north. They began as liegemen to the once mighty Barrow Kings, a dynasty of kings who ruled the Barrowlands. The Starks waged war on the Barrow Kings, which ended with House Stark emerging victorious and uniting the north. Their rule seemingly came to an end after the betrayal of both House Frey and House Bolton, leaving the Starks critically wounded and losing Winterfell in the process. But that wouldn't stop my favorite plot armor-riddled bastard from taking it back. House Stark's sigil is that of a direwolf, with their family motto being, "Winter is coming." And we all know winter definitely came. Or did it? I don't know. I couldn't see a thing. Now we're gonna move down the map to House Arryn. It was said that House Arryn was founded by Sir Arrys Arryn, also known as the Winged Knight. Legend has it that he rode a giant falcon, landing on the highest mountain of the Vale, to defeat the Griffin King, and take control of the Eyrie. Sir Arrys Arryn cemented his family's rule over the Vale, and the Eyrie has never fallen to invaders. During Aegon I's conquest, the Vale put up a strong resistance against the Targaryen forces, until Ronald Arryn, son of Shara Arryn, the Queen Regent of the Vale, bent the knee to Aegon in exchange for a ride atop Vhagar. By submitting peacefully instead of being conquered, they were allowed to continue to rule as Lords of the Vale and Wardens of the East. House Arryn's sigil is a white crescent moon and falcon on a blue field. Their house words are, "as high as honor." So I guess we know what they were really getting up to in the Vale. The most recent head of House Arryn died under mysterious circumstances whilst serving as Hand of the King to Robert Baratheon. But Jon Arryn has nothing to be worried about. After his death, his son Robin will take over, the little milk-loving superstar that he is. Now we're gonna move west of the Vale to House Tully. House Tully rose to prominence during Aegon I's conquest, where Lord Edmund Tully supported the invading Targaryens. When Aegon established his rule over the Iron Throne, he rewarded House Tully as the Lords of the Trident. House Tully are the rulers of Riverrun, which is located in the central-most part of Westeros, making the Tullys a very powerful and valuable ally. House Frey, a once loyal ally to House Tully, betrayed their overlord house, killing both Stark and Tully forces after siding with the Lannisters, granting House Frey lordship of Riverrun and given the paramountcy over the Trident. God damn, I hated Walder Frey. Edmure Tully, heir to Hoster Tully, was taken as a prisoner by the Freys and kept locked away until Brynden Tully, also known as the Black Fish, assembled an army of true Tully loyalists and took Riverrun back, which doesn't last long as a host of Lannister forces storm Riverrun, forcing Edmure to yield the castle again to the Freys and Lannisters. They kind of just play ping pong with the castle. House Tully's sigil is that of a silver trout on a red and blue background, and their family words are family, duty, honor. Now let's move just west of the Riverlands, House Lannister. There are two stories about the origin of House Lannister, one being a trickster by the name Lan the Clever, convincing the people of Casterly Rock it was haunted, forcing them to vacate the castle, leaving it free to the Lannisters. The other story, said by Tyrion Lannister, was that Lan the Clever snuck into the castle and impregnated Casterly girls, fathering enough bastards that the Casterlys had to accept his rule. House Lannister took control of Casterly Rock. It overlooks the city of Lannisport and sits atop the most productive gold mine in the Westerlands. They are the wealthiest family in the realm, which also makes them one of the most powerful. The Lannisters are commonly known for their blonde hair and good looks. They are also known to be conniving, often taking advantage of their allies and stabbing them in the back. House Lannister's sigil displays a golden lion on a red background, and their house words are, "Hear me roar," which we all know isn't true. Their real house words are,
"A Lannister always
Don't
pays..."
say it. Don't fucking say it.
Now moving north of the Westerlands. House Greyjoy. Legend has it, the Grey King, a legendary king of the Iron Islands, said to have ruled for 1,000 years and taken a mermaid as his wife. His 100 sons slaughtered each other until only 16 remained. Unable to overpower one another, they held the first king's moot to elect the strongest as their king. The Iron Islands was once in the control of House Hoare, the original hosts of Harrenhal. Following the extinction of House Hoare, the Ironborn elected a new house to rule over them, leading to House Greyjoy to become a great house of Westeros and rulers of the Iron Islands. The Greyjoys did not maintain a strong standing army, but controlled one of the most powerful navy fleets in the realm. Their sigil is that of a golden kraken on a black background, and their house words are, "We do not sow." I guess they hate sowing? Now moving on down the map, we have House Tyrell. House Tyrell was founded by Alistair Tyrell during the coming of the Andals. Sir Alistair and his family became senior servants of House Gardner, another great house that went extinct due to the fury of Aegon the Conqueror. Harlan Tyrell, the steward of Highgarden, surrendered the castle to Aegon, and he was afterward made Lord Paramount of the Reach and Warden of the South. Throughout history, House Tyrell has played by the strategy of following the sure path, siding with whoever is most likely to win in any conflict. They basically just change teams to whichever one has the most points. House Tyrell's overall disposition is represented by their sigil of a rose. A rose's beauty often hides the fact that it has thorns. They present themselves as an honorable house like the Starks, but are just as cunning as the Lannisters. House Tyrell's sigil represents an innocent rose on a light green background, and their house words are growing strong, which should be the same words Rhaenyra should be using with her children with Laenor Velaryon. Now let's head east to the Stormlands. House Baratheon. House Baratheon was founded by Orys Baratheon, a general in the army of Aegon Targaryen. Orys was also rumored to be Aegon's bastard half-brother. He defeated Argilac Durrandon, the last of the Storm Kings, and captured his castle of Storm's End, cementing the Baratheons' rule over the Stormlands. House Durrandon is extinct in name only. Its heraldry, words, and family traditions survived due to the Baratheons taking both their sigil of a black-crowned stag and family words, "Ours is the Fury." Durrandon blood also still runs through the veins of the Baratheons, as after Orys killed Argilac Durrandon, he married his daughter Argella. A young Baratheon by the name of Robert took it upon himself to overthrow the Targaryen dynasty, putting an end to their rule and taking the Iron Throne. Now let's move all the way south. House Martell. House Martell started out as local kings in Dorne. Refugees fleeing the Valyrian freehold in Essos migrated across the narrow sea to Dorne, led by their warrior queen, Nymeria. Mors Martell was smitten with Nymeria and chose to join forces with her through marriage alliance. To symbolize their union, the original golden spear sigil of Mors Martell was combined with the red sun sigil of Nymeria, creating the red sun pierced by a golden spear sigil that House Martell would use as their sigil. My god, imagine taking a shot for every time I just said sigil. The Martell family words of unbowed, unbent, unbroken referred to their history of never successfully being conquered by outsiders. This makes them unique among all of the great houses. Dorne was the only region of the Seven Kingdoms to successfully resist the Targaryens and their dragons. A little over a century before the War of the Five Kings, King Darren II managed to finally unite Dorne with the Iron Throne through a marriage alliance on equal terms. Now moving back up to King's Landing, House Targaryen. House Targaryen was one of the many Dragonlord families of the Valyrian freehold, an empire that rose in Essos and dominated much of the known world. Their mastery over dragons meant that they had no real opposition to contend with. Using dragonfire and magic, they built their grand capital city of Valyria. The Doom of Valyria, a catastrophic event that wiped out the mighty empire and left the Targaryens as the last surviving dragon lords due to Daenerys, the Dreamer, having foreseen the disaster and convincing her father to leave their capital and take their family to Dragonstone. Generations of inbreeding have preserved the Targaryen bloodline, the classic Valyrian features of silver white hair and very fair pale skin. Unfortunately, some believe that the practice of inbreeding has also caused the trait of insanity to plague House Targaryen. The Targaryens' sigil is that of a three-headed red dragon with their house words being fire and blood. with the head of House Targaryen being referred to as the Dragon. Aegon the Conqueror. No, not that one. Aegon the Conqueror went on to be the first king in the Targaryen dynasty, uniting the Seven Kingdoms. It was not ambition that led to conquering the Seven Kingdoms, but a dragon dream he called the Song of Ice and Fire. Aegon foresaw the return of the White Walkers and the Great War, and that to counter the threat, a Targaryen must unite and rule Westeros. Thanks for watching. I will be dabbing once per subscriber on this video. See you next time.